The
fucking Gary
3D's episode 8. Oh.
What'd you do now?
I don't know. It just flashed something at the bottom of the screen at me. I don't know.
All right.
Try it
It's
again?
recording. We'll be fine-ish.
Perfect start.
Just
Welcome,
do the intro
Gary.
again real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Let's special guest Gary. Again.
Again. He was
I have
bored.
no life.
Gary drives a minivan. Has 12 kids.
Shaggin' wagon.
You still have your RZR, or did you sell that?
No, I still have it.
You fix it yet?
Gonna start this spring.
How much shit did you break if you got to start the spring to fix a razor?
I haven't had time.
Why?
What'd you
Busy
break?
at work. I don't know if it's either a bad valve that got burned or if it's rings that's not setting up the compression right.
Oh, you done screwed up.
No, we
things
didn't do
are
anything bad.
four-strokes, aren't they?
Should be.
I would assume.
Yeah.
You don't mix your oil, right?
No.
Or you don't have a separate tank for oil injection,
Well, it has its own oil tank reservoir.
but you change the oil.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
change the oil. You don't add more. It doesn't run out of oil on you, hopefully.
It's not a Subaru. You just don't keep adding oil.
Well, it does right now.
Oh. All right.
You guys watch any of the Super Bowl tonight? Or today, I guess?
Just the commercials.
Just
The
commercials.
pelvic thrusting.
That fucking
I like that
halftime
part.
show was horrible.
What was with your woman? Why didn't she like it?
It's just...
Because they were hot, or is she anti-hot girl, or what?
They're fucking 50 years old!
Yeah, but
J-Lo
the kids
is,
are still
not
lying.
Shakira.
Shakira's 45.
You're definitely
No,
not
she's like
lying.
42.
Okay. Okay.
That's not that far away from like me, bitch.
I know.
That's still old.
That's getting up there. That's over halfway of your life expectancy. So and that's
That
way
just
over
means she
half
has
of
more
my
experience.
life. So yeah, I don't know. Like, but they're old. They're washed out. Jesus Christ! When was the last time either of them had a hit song?
I don't know.
99.
Was it me
Jim
or
was
like
just
I
movie,
didn't
though.
realize that Shakira was white?
She's not. She's Latino.
Well, no, she's half Latino and half, but she's Colombian, and then she's half Armenian, I think.
Oh, there you go.
So
Everybody at the bar was like, "She's white." Like, where the hell was this?
She doesn't have blonde hair anymore.
Maybe that's what threw us off. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
So did you like go out with friends, Davis, or did you just meet people at the bar and just start hanging out?
No, we're not with a couple friends.
Neat.
Are you doing a scratch or what? What are you doing?
Doing what?
Are you filing
You
your
doing
nail?
some lottery tickets going on?
Yeah, hear you scratching away at something.
We told you can't eat, so now you're scratching lotteries off, or what?
You got nervous twitch?
Come on, big money. Oh,
Have any of you ever won big money on a scratch ticket? Like over $100?
bucks.
I
Nope.
won 1,000.
Did you? We had
Yeah.
What do you have to show for it? A minivan?
Hey,
we had one of our guys.
hey, how's
come
your
on.
Mustang coming?
Oh, well played. Yeah, right.
Zing! We had one of our guys went on vacation, bought a scratch ticket in some other state, and won 30 grand on a cash word. He's like, "Yeah, we're
Nice.
staying an extra week." Yeah, I would too. But he spends a lot of money on tickets, like a lot. Like I would say between probably $20 and $40 a day minimum, plus casino money.
You guys are paying your people too much money.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's worth what he makes, so he just likes to gamble.
Huh?
That and his wife runs one of the Harley dealerships. She makes really good money, so yeah, they've got money that they can spend on casinos and shit.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, we went up the other night. We went up Friday night, but we didn't win anything.
No? Did you lose a bunch?
No, not a bunch.
Wow, that's good.
Usually when I'm
We
gambling,
set
I always
limits.
make the wife do it.
Yeah,
She's lazy, man.
you gotta set limits or that shit gets unreasonable real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Kayla sets limits, and I listen to her, or we wouldn't have any money. Because I'd be like, "Oh, just give me another 100. It'll be fine."
Yeah, Cammy tagged me in a post on Facebook that was like a text message deal. That it was like, I accidentally spent $750 today.
$730.
Yeah, I saw that.
I went, yeah, I don't think I've spent quite that much lately.
Lately,
Yeah. Like, there's the random, like, hey, I bought a new car today type stuff. But
oh, I got a good one for you. Uriah in town here has Earhart Restorations. I sold him that 90S10
okay.
because he needed the frame. So instead of basically instead of him telling his wife anything, he's just like, "Hey, just drop it off in my driveway." I'm like, "Okay." So he comes over and he pays me, and I'm like, "So what'd she say?" "Well, she hasn't seen it yet. Let's see how many days it took her to see it."
Oh my God.
But
Wow.
it was only 2 days that it took her, apparently.
Yeah. I could
And she
probably
thought-
do that out here pretty easy. But I could just pull something over in the weeds and she'd never see it. About
Oh,
the
exactly.
same as your pit, you know.
Well, Kayla would still know because there'd be money missing, and she'd be like, wait a minute." But he goes, and she finally saw it after 2 days. She goes, "What is that?" And she goes, "Is that yours?" He goes, "No, it's not mine. It's ours, honey." This fucking blue S10 with no linkage on it. Stills look all retarded, facing both ways. The front lips in the back of the. Yeah, it's a prize to have right off the main road in Whitewood and in your driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's ours.
That's good. I'm going to remember that.
So I gotta. Yeah, remember that one. So the next time Cammy says something, just be like, "No, honey, it's ours."
Yeah.
Sex swing.
Where'd the sex swing come from? "I don't know, honey. It's ours."
Is that yours? No, it's ours.
Yeah. Oh.
Specify that you're not going to use it with Gary when you get it.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh,
Oh
Gary.
my God. The school is calling me. I don't understand.
What school?
I'd probably have a delightable.
Get a 2 hour late start.
Your kids are homeschooled. How is the school calling you?
I'm aware. They call me every time there's a fucking late start because they're retarded. My kids haven't been in public school for 2 years, and they still call me.
I thought that was just.
You know, your kids missed all school. They didn't show up once.
Yeah.
I thought your was calling you, and that was your creative way of saying it this time. This fucking teacher, I don't know her.
Yeah.
I think my kids are smarter than she is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why that we're still on their call list, but yeah. Yeah, our kids haven't gone to public school in 2 years, and they still call every time there's a late start or a cancellation. Stupid.
Nice.
Is it snowing up there in Whitewood yet, Dustin?
Yeah, it's starting to.
Is it? We got some. I can't really see right now, but it doesn't really look like it was raining when we were coming home from the football party, but
Davis is saying hi to the creepers looking through his window.
Oh, I was trying to see if I could see anything, but
yeah, it's too bright in here. It's just black outside, basically.
yep.
You don't have your kitty outside your
I
shop
was
this
just saying,
time?
where's the cat?
I don't know. She might show up. We'll see.
For all of you guys that missed it, Chris's cat was meowing outside the window last week.
Not his cat.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is my cat. It's the cat that comes inside.
Oh, is
the
it?
cage. Yeah. Yeah, it's Alex, that one we got from Nick.
It's the one that comes inside occasionally, like just came over randomly and has never left.
No, we got it from Nick as a kitten. He had a litter.
Oh,
We took one of them.
Rescued.
Yeah,
Adopted.
We rescued that cat from Nick. Okay, rescued.
Not the same like rescued as you would with like JR down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally different rescue.
But yeah,
Dude, you got a whole bunch of kids. They hungry, yo.
her and the dog don't get along. Or I think she's more jealous of the dog. She'll piss on stuff in the house because she's pissy or whatever. So she's an outside cat now.
Oh, well, that works.
She will not use her litter box. She'll poop in the litter box, but she'll pee everywhere else. So she's just outside now.
Yeah.
There's
Each
plenty-
their own.
So I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Oh.
So as you guys always give me crap because I drive a minivan.
Yep.
So
Minivan, mega fun.
question I have for you guys is when you're driving down the interstate, doing about 75, 80, accelerating, it feels like it shakes on you really bad. And then when you decelerate or you let your foot off the accelerator, it smooths out. Do you guys have any idea what that might be?
Could be. There's a lot of options. It's just when you put torque on it, it vibrates.
Yeah, you just feel like it's shaking, like the wheels are out of balance, but they're balanced.
That front wheel drive or all wheel drive?
All-wheel drive.
You could have a drive shaft vibration under load. You could have a front CV axle joint wearing out that only vibrates under load. You should check your wheel bearings to make sure, but usually that's more of a when you're turning type of deal. Check your basically your engine mounts or your torque mounts to make sure all those are good.
Yeah.
I've checked.
And that'll be $49.95 for your advice. Thank you.
next caller.
First time caller, her long time listener.
Love what you guys do.
Johnny Baker here.
I'm going to hang up and listen. Oh. Yeah.
That's what I look at. You know, anything that rotates type of deal.
See, and I was thinking
Under
it was
torque.
maybe just an axle. That was
Yeah, it could be. I would look at drive line, like at your drive shaft that goes into the back. So it's only above 70.
Just when you're getting up in the interstate speeds. In town, you don't feel it at all.
Is it like steering wheel shake, or you feel it in the whole van?
You feel it through the whole van. It just, when you have wheels out of balance or you have something that's stuck in the rim or something, you just feel it kind of shaking a little bit.
You got any water in your wheels?
Not anymore.
That's legitimate, actually.
It is very legit.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I would
Carrier
start with the
bearing
drive
going bad or
shaft.
something.
Is it what?
What'd you say,
That
David?
sounds like a carrier bearing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have one.
Yeah, I would start with the drive shaft. Definitely.
I would think you would feel that though. If there was a carrier bearing or a U joint going on, I would assume you would have noticed that down low more though.
Yeah,
But under
if
load,
you're
that would be
you hear
pretty
it
close.
popping.
Yeah.
What's that?
If you're accelerating, you hear it popping.
Are you asking
Check your
or
front
telling me to
axles.
do it?
Yeah, your
My
axles.
axles?
Yeah, check
Your
the axles.
axles. Blah, blah. Your front
Is that
axles.
connected to
Check
your
your axles
ankles?
first. Yes, kind of. Kind of the same region. They both make you go. Yeah. But. All right, talking about this. You have any more questions about your van?
Yeah, I need to get a sticker made for it.
I've got stickers. What color you want?
David,
buddy?
yeah.
Condoms prevent minivans.
What?
Says condoms prevent minivans.
Oh, you need that sticker made.
I got a vinyl plotter.
Yeah.
Let's do this shit.
Oh,
No, you need.
so that brings up one of my
you
topics,
need
by
the
the way.
minivan sticker.
Oh God, I sent him a sign the other day.
5 in the back, 2 in the
You
front.
sent me a sign?
Jeez.
Speckle.
I'm out, you.
Yes. Okay, so
where it went. Oh,
what
there
was
it is.
Davis saying? Or Dustin?
That brings up my tip about maintenance. Oh, people need to maintain their shit.
No, you just...
Yeah,
I'm
see, I
just
just got this
talking
van.
back into the microphone now.
Yeah.
I'm at the same point I was. Thank you very much.
I don't-
But
It's way better right there.
Would you end up working on a mail car again?
actually, she came over because it was throwing an O2 code.
Oh, front
Which
O2 or
it
rear
has-
O2?
It just said O2. It didn't even specify.
Oh, God.
That's how much fun. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll have to work on it anyway. Oh, I suppose, yeah, I should probably do a quote for that. But, no, people, like, that thing has 163,000 miles. It's a Honda Pilot. When you do a timing belt? Every how many? Anybody guess here?
About 100,000.
You say 100? 100?
Yeah.
What do you say, Chris?
You like recommended factory? I would say between 60 and 80,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, I was gonna say 60 because my Odyssey was the same way.
Yeah.
It should be every 80,000. Right around 80,000, you should do it.
Yeah.
Which, if you do it then you give yourself a little leeway if it takes a little bit. But like the last pilot I did, she knew it had been done once, but that thing had 240,000 miles.
Sweet. That's always good on those interference engines, too, when you break a timing belt.
Oh, yeah. So at that point, you're kind of just rolling the dice and hoping for the best, or what?
Yeah, apparently.
You know, bite the bullet, spend the money, and
I gotta get the
have,
life super
have the
down
maintenance
here,
done.
There's certain
Already
things
passed 100,000.
that I agree that you need to maintain and that you should, like, do preventative maintenance on.
Well, brakes, you wait till a brake makes a noise. You know, that's not a big deal.
Right.
You know, you keep track of your oil, make sure how much oil you're using, if you're leaking or burning or anything like that. That's normal crap. But
and then here's another thing. Oil changes every 3,000 miles are fucking ridiculous.
we go about 5 is
See,
usually what we hit.
and like my work truck has got the 6-liter gas Chevy motor in it, and I run that thing 10,000 miles on conventional before I do
and we
oil
don't.
change.
I usually do the Titan about 5, and Kayla's Suburban is, I don't keep track of the miles, but when it says oil, life, whatever,
Yeah.
when that goes down to 0 twice, then we change it.
Yeah, I don't,
Because the first time it's not dark or anything. You can tell that it's still good to go, but
yeah, I mean, as long as you're not, like, oil isn't the most important thing you can put in your engine. Just don't put shitty oil in it. You don't have to change it constantly.
see now, like my race motors or anything like that, that's every other weekend.
Yeah, that's a little
Like,
different, though.
I'll get, like, if I run Friday nights or Friday night and Saturday morning, I'll get all the idle time, the startup time, but I'll get 2 weekends out of that.
Yeah,
So that's kind of once a month type of deal,
yeah.
during the summer. But
That's
that's a lot more high performance, a lot beating the crap out of it too.
Yeah, my buddy that does, well, he used to do sprint car racing. He would change the oil every 2 races, I think. And then I'd take his old oil and put it in my cars. Because he was running like really expensive, full synthetic, like high-end stuff in that. And it was still, I think it was Royal Purple, which he was running for a while. And it was still purple when he'd drain it. I mean,
Seeing, I always used to run Royal Purple, but then I talked to a few different engine builders, and they said not to run that because it runs through the motor too quick.
oh,
It's too slick,
and
and that's what they said. And I've ran the hell is this stuff? I can't even think of it.
he switched
How-
over to Amsoil. I don't know, like a year or 2 into racing, he got an Amsoil sponsorship and ran Amsoil for the rest of the time that he raced. And I used that too, which looked great. I mean, slightly used, but I can't remember what I was putting it in, but it was something that burned some oil. so it worked out well.
Yeah. See, the stuff I use is synthetic green, which it's a race oil, but I run 2050, and that shit works good unless you end up with a leak. But
Yeah.
nobody ever leaks on the track. Nah,
No.
that doesn't happen.
Sean gets super pissed when people leak on the track, so no one does it.
Yeah, no one does it at all.
I remember when your Del Sol busted out.
Oh, shut up. We don't talk about the Del Sol.
I had to help you push that damn thing.
I left oil everywhere.
That was way down the track, though. That wasn't at the starting line.
That was funny when Jason actually...
It was like 60 feet out.
But yeah,
No.
you should, like timing chains or timing belts, and even like bushings and all your joints, you should at least check, semi-regularly. You shouldn't be... Don't trust the oil change guys to tell you if stuff's going bad underneath your car.
Exactly. Lug nuts. Check your lug nuts.
Yeah.
Check your fluids. Check your brake fluid. When was the last time somebody checked brake fluid?
Actually, I just changed mine out.
Yeah.
When I got the van, I flushed out I did a tranny flush, I did the differential, and I did the transfer case.
What kind of tranny flush did you do?
I was waiting for this.
Just a regular one where with the drain plug, you just let it drip out. and you
Okay.
go
Onto the
fill it.
ground?
Yeah.
No,
What's your
I had it
address?
on the lift. Yeah.
No,
No,
'cause
just
those-
your traditional one. I don't do a regular tranny flush where it flushes everything. I just drain
those-
the core.
Don't do those on old shit. It's bad.
Oh, yeah. It breaks up everything inside.
Yeah, it knocks loose all the debris, and then like within a week, your tranny is starting to slip. I've
It was a
known
bitch
multiple
trying to get all my
people.
stuff to set up right though,
Yeah.
because I had to have the transmission at a certain temperature.
Hi, Tish. Is that Tish? Oh,
That's Tish.
I saw her. Yeah, I saw her.
Walking
She's
through.
getting ready for work.
I was glad she had clothes on this time.
Oh, what?
Oh, anyway. No.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what I mean. Yeah, like stuff like O2s though, you just change them when they go bad. I've never you can't really check that unless you've got a pretty high dollar diagnostic system.
I have one.
Yeah, good for you, minivan man.
I don't technically have one. My work does. I just
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah, those are nice. I have a Torque OBD2 reader on my phone. Which
Does that work?
It does actually pretty well. It's I bought it for my 6-liter diesel.
Hey, sweetie, do you want to turn that off?
Because
The dryer when you leave.
I can actually log a lot of the sensor information. You can get your high pressure oil PSI. You can get your fuel oil PSI. You can get like your FICM voltage and a whole bunch of other vital information if you're having trouble with them starting or whatever. But yeah, I mean it's a basic code reader plus if it's set up for whatever vehicle you have, they work really, really well for the... I think I paid like $5 for the paid version of it. And then the Bluetooth OBD2 adapter. So I wouldn't use it for mile per hours and quarter mile times like some people do. But yeah. No, it works good for a cheap OBD2 reader. I would definitely recommend it because I think you can, like, $10 or $15, you can get a Bluetooth OBD2 reader and $5 for the app, and it works really well. So,
There you go.
The one we use is the Macro one.
yeah,
Sorry, we're poor over on this side of the computer.
yeah, heard, dog.
No, you aren't. You're richer than I am. You
Mine's a Actron that I got on clearance.
Let me get up there.
No, I used that to diagnose my power stroke when I got it, or after I fixed the cracked injector. Then I used it for some other small things, but I haven't really had any issues anymore. So, here's
did you get the flex fixed?
I did.
And
it was a fucking MAF sensor.
That'll do it.
So there was originally a fuel relay that everyone's like, this relay goes out. There was even a recall on it for the EcoBoost models. And so I ordered the relay, like $50, put it in, still no start. So I'm like, fuck, the fuel pump shot. But so I had Owen come out, I popped a fuel line off the rail and had him turn the key on.
Owen blows Chris up.
I thought he was
No,
that'd be perfect.
No, I held a cup underneath of it and caught all the fuel and dumped it on the
JR, your woman's talking to you.
But yeah, it was pumping. It was pumping fuel fine, and I went, well, "What the fuck is making this thing not fire?" Because it wouldn't run.
That would be spark.
Did you put gas in it?
Yeah, it was full.
He already said MAF sensor, JR. Try to stick with us.
So yeah, I was like, well, I wonder if the MAF sensor's all fucked up. This thing's got no codes at all. And yeah, for a 14, no code. So I unplugged the MAF sensor, got in the car, started it, and ran. Rough, but it ran.
Yep.
Yeah, went and bought a new MAF sensor, plugged it in, fucking running fine. So... Yeah, I don't...
Did you give Cammy a bill?
I should
have. You have a can and filter.
I just give her dick. No? What's that?
Oh, she better watch this one. Davis had a valid question.
What were you saying?
What did I ask?
Did it have a can and filter?
Oh, yeah.
Does
it have any oiled filter?
Any oil filter?
Aftermarket filter.
No, it's all stock. No,
those
I know my Mustang.
Those kill MAFs.
K&N, and yeah, especially in the Ford world.
No,
Titans are the same way.
I typically leave Cammy's cars alone because we need them to run, so they don't get
whatever.
We always knew right after we did an oil change to clean that filter in that Mustang that we would get a code for about a week and a half.
Oh, really?
Yep. And you could just tell, pull the MAF out, you look right at it, and it's like, oh, the resistor's the wrong color. You hit it.
Yep.
You hit it with some fucking MAF cleaner, and it's perfect.
I was really hoping he was going to say like lacquer thinner and just lit it. I was really hoping.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of good to know because I thought about putting that on the minivan.
They're fine. You just got to watch your cleanliness sometimes.
They come over oiled because they sit on a shelf forever.
Yep. Yeah, you just got to pay attention to it. That's just that'd be another maintenance thing you need to watch for. So,
that's one thing I'm not happy about this van. I like my Odyssey better for that. As a gas.
Why don't you get an SUV?
Yeah. Hey.
Something that's 4-wheel drive that you can fit all the kids in.
No, he needs an all-wheel drive.
No.
14.
My van is all-wheel drive.
I thought you weren't allowed to sell that Flex.
No, we're gonna get rid of it.
Oh shit! That means I got to work on it. Fuck.
No. Yeah, we need to polish it
a
little bit.
Don't get me wrong. I like the minivan. It's all-wheel drive. Shoot, when we had the last snowstorm, take out the traction and the stability control, we were doing donuts in the parking lot.
Yeah, the Flex will do that. Plus,
and he has a dry spot. Fucking puts it on its lid.
Plus,
like
look at this
garbage can flipping over down the road.
It has Sirius XM for free.
I have the same thing.
What do you mean for free?
Well, because when I brought it up to your house, I shut the Sirius XM off, and I switched it over to our Suburban. And while it was inside the garage, apparently it couldn't get the shutoff signal from Sirius XM. And it sat for so fucking long inside the garage that they quit sending the shutoff signal.
Yeah, you'll get caught in the next update, unfortunately.
That's amazing. So if it parked inside all the time in a steel shed, you'd be fine.
Yeah, well, the second you go out and when it updates. But it updates every, 2 weeks. we get like a updating thing on the.
Yeah, that's the forced system and serious updating that way. Next time they do like a channel lineup update or something, they'll send the refresh list.
Oh, well, that sucks. But fuck, how long's it been out of the shop now?
I don't know. It was in the shop for a year.
Yeah. When did we paint that thing? God. It was nice
I still got paint for that thing.
October-ish?
No, it was earlier than that. I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, that car's been sitting over there. It was probably September.
Yeah, could have been. But yeah, it's been out so almost 6 months. All right, it's got to have been at least 6 months since we painted it. And it's still running, so. Yeah. So. Yeah. So here.
So.
What?
You go.
No. Okay.
See us carrying the team down here. What are these two below us doing?
I don't know. Not eating food right now, apparently, though.
That's good. You run out of gummy bears?
So there was a kid on Reddit.
Oh God!
Bought it was a BMW, I think, manual transmission that was 600 miles away. He's never drove a manual before and wanted to know if
that's a bad idea with a Beamer. Anyway,
if it would be a good idea for him to fly out and drive it back, having never driven a manual transmission before. So, and this has been updated, so I know what happened. But what would you guys give for advice on that?
How old is he?
He was I don't know, in his
roughly
early 20s, I would imagine.
I'd tell him to go do it.
If he can make it out of a parking lot, he'd be fine. He'd figure it out in 600 miles, for damn sure. Yeah. But he'd have to get going first.
Yeah.
And I guess it depends on the population, like how big a city.
Yeah, it was I don't know, going from a fairly big city, but it was late at night when he picked it up. But yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I went, and this was, I think there was a pile of people going, no, don't, just have it shipped. And then there was, I think one guy was like, do you have a buddy with a manual that would let you drive around in a parking lot for a little while or give you like a short lesson? And so he did get a lesson from a buddy, drove around in a parking lot for like half an hour with it, and then flew out, picked up his car, and drove it 600 miles back, didn't have any issues. I don't know what people's stigma is with a manual transmission, but they're really not that hard to drive. I mean,
if everything's working correctly.
Well, it was a new-ish car. It's not,
some shit is a lot trickier to drive than other.
Yeah, like my 58 International 1-ton dump truck. That thing's a motherfucker to drive.
Well, and it all depends on which clutch is in there and hydraulic versus cable, and
I don't know that they really put cable in anything anymore.
I think BMW. Well, shit. When Mustangs switch over 04?
That late? Really?
Yeah.
5 for sure.
Yeah. Whatever style is between Davis's and Kayla's, when they switch the styles, right. That's when they switch to hydraulic clutch instead of cable.
Good Lord.
It's literally the same cable clutch from like 86 or some bullshit on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was
Ford must just have had like a lot of them just laying around.
Could be. It just kind of like there was a large amount of people that were just like, don't do it. You're going to burn it up. You're going to blow the engine up. You don't know how to drive it. Why would you even buy a manual? And just like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't just, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, fucking just go get it. It ain't that hard. Like, watch a couple YouTube videos, figure it out.
That's actually one of my topics there.
when my kids start learning how to drive, that's all they're going to get is they're going to get a manual first.
I already got Riley. Riley drove that S10 when we had the roof cut off of it, and he's 13 now, so he was 11 driving that around, our property over there. But
yeah, I don't know that I trust Owen to do that.
Owen can't see a deer 5 feet away. Don't let that kid in the driver's seat.
Oh, he can spot him great when he's riding around in the car. That kid's my deer spotter when we're riding around.
Jeez. But, so, how do you guys fix stuff now? Like, especially you, JR. Do you YouTube everything? Do you search it and look on a forum how to do it? Do you have a book?
Well, I have a book for my older vehicles, but the newer stuff, I don't have anything. A lot of times I'll go on YouTube and I'll kind of get a rough idea of how it's supposed to be done. And if not, then I usually just look on some of the forums and see what other people's done on theirs to get a rough idea.
Yeah. That's
Davis, Chris?
That's typically how I do it. First do a Google search, because typically I don't, like with the with my 1-ton diesel that's still apart over there. I knew it was head gaskets, so I Googled, book time on head gaskets and how people do head gaskets in that particular truck without removing the cab, and kind of walk through it. And then I watched, 3 or 4 different videos on YouTube of people going through doing head gaskets on things, or on that particular truck. But yeah, that's how, that's my main resource. When I try to figure out how to do something, I'll YouTube it first, because typically there's some idiot that's done it in their garage on the floor before me, so.
Stuff's changed a lot. Back when I first started doing everything, you had to have a Chilton manual.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what you were doing, you had to have a Chilton manual. And then, God forbid, there's an error in that thing, as far as firing order or something like that.
See, I don't know if you can see, but all of
I see a couple of them.
They're all Chiltons up there. Chiltons and Haynes. So
yeah,
I've got.
So, how many cars have you guys actually had? If you think about it.
Owned?
Yeah.
Like this year? Or
I think we talked about this on a previous episode.
What was your one car that you guys actually miss?
I thought he was our number one fan. Didn't we already discuss this?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he know? Yeah, I thought you were the number one fan.
Well, but purple.
Yeah, what Dustin said, you were somewhere in the 200s of owning cars.
Yeah, it was 2 something last time I even thought about counting. I gave up.
Well, I mean, what's your favorite car that you actually miss that you wish you didn't sell?
See, I think
I don't know. There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Like my first gen Odyssey is probably one that I really regret selling, or parting out and then crushing eventually. I had a 72-ish Volkswagen Squareback that I sold, that I wish I would have kept around. But yeah, there's quite a few cars that I wish. Those are probably my top 2, though, because that
Davis?
Squareback is really cool.
I seen those are going for sale up in Montana.
Yeah, they're pretty spendy little cars if they're in decent shape.
Yeah, they had about $3,000 on Facebook.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, they ran and drove.
I don't know. I miss a few of my cars. Like, the Cutlass was hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
But the actually like on it, so that makes you feel better that it's not just going to sit there.
Yeah. How many years have you had that Cutlass? Like 4 or 5 now?
It was almost 4 years.
Okay.
It was 3 seasons. I think it was 3. It might have been. Well, the first year was me working on it until like the last 2 races.
Oh, okay.
And then, I don't know, like most of my Camaros and Firebirds and stuff like that, I don't really miss. My 91 300ZX twin turbo. That was an awesome car, but it sucked to work on.
That maroon one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, it was clean, it was done nice, and I just did minor things to it until the motor popped, and then I had another motor, you know, I sat it in there and everything, and then just fucking lost interest. But
you ran what? You ran like a 7 in that, didn't you?
8.2.
8.2, okay.
Oof,
And then I ran a 12 2/4
that's not so bad.
in Billings, and it was starting to blow head gaskets when I was up there, and then coming home is when it blew up. But
Oh, so I'm going to completely change subject here. So me and my brother, he has an MR2 that we race. The MR2 has heater lines for the heater core that run from the motor, obviously, which is in the back of the car, to the front heater core, which is way up front. So there's a hard line, and this hard line runs right above the gas tank.
yep,
And it's through the center of the car, like where a drive shaft would go, basically. The hard line has leaked twice. He just got it fixed. We put it back in. He drove it around the block twice at his house, and it's leaking already. What do you do to replace that? Because he doesn't want to go with hard lines.
I'll go with hard lines.
What's that?
Duct tape.
I would go with hard line.
Would you?
You know, it just but if you can't get the OEM one, which might not be
can't.
the easiest, I guess I'd have to look up the properties of antifreeze as far as how corrosive and shit. But it should be fine in like aluminum fuel line.
Okay.
That should be, you know, it's
Yeah.
the same shit that I run for, you know, return line, everything else. Aluminum's aluminum. You have aluminum radiators. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't work.
Right.
You know,
See,
and
I
you
told
just
him-
you have little brackets to put it in.
Yeah, and I told him to go with like a braided steel line.
That's more money. You know, that would hold it too, but
Right.
that's kind of money factor there. But
Yeah.
either way, you're flaring that bitch and running probably AN fittings or something else
Well,
like that.
yeah, it'll have
Or at least have a flare on it and then clamp to a flare or something.
it has to connect to two rubber hoses. So it's going to have to either be like an AN fitting with a barb or an aluminum tube that can fit inside of the rubber that you can hose clamp on or something.
The AN to a barb would definitely be the best way so you don't crush the fitting or
Right.
crush the hose.
Yeah.
And that shit, what size is that? 5/8 fuel or 5/8 line?
It's either 5/8 or 3/4. It's fairly large line. So
Okay. Talk amongst yourself for a second.
yeah, so I don't know. It's something that it's such a major pain in the ass to get out because it's up above the fuel tank. You have to drop the fuel tank out. You've got to tear apart, a good portion of the center console to get.
Those cars just suck to work on.
They
do.
It's not bad. I think he just replaced the turbo too, and it took him 4 hours to put the turbo on.
Well, Millard had that one we had to pull the motor out of. So we pulled everything out the bottom and rolled it outside on a log.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of those cars.
It's an awesome car. I absolutely love it, and he loves it as well. But it's just getting to the point, that thing's got 220,000 miles on it. It's in good shape, but, everything needs replaced on it. It's just getting worn out. So this is probably going to be our last year racing it, I'm guessing, before it gives up the ghost completely. The motor's getting weaker, the transmission's grinding in like second and third, I think, at high RPM.
Those JDM pullouts aren't very much money.
No. Yeah, see,
Not for what you get,
yeah.
You could do like with those, what the hell are those boosted boys or something like that?
Do the
Do that
K20 swap.
K-series.
Yep. And I've tried to talk him into that, but he's like, it's he's always got money problems, but it's because they don't want to spend any of it, basically. So
That's probably why they have it.
no, they his wife's an eye doctor. They make very, very good money. He's always broke and doesn't have any money because they're.
That's why they have money.
Yeah,
It's because they don't spend it on stupid shit.
That's exactly why. I mean, he could completely do a fully built K swap and everything in there, big turbo, and make 400, 500 horsepower, no problem. And their bank account wouldn't show it. But yeah, that's just.
I would hope he doesn't do a built K series and only make 400 or 500 horsepower.
Well, the kind of, but the thing is, the kind of racing that we do,
Yeah.
you know, right now it's a stock chassis basically, and we're at the top limit of what that car is capable of for the most part.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to push it too much further.
I found the one here. Aluminum hard fuel line tubing, 5/8 OD, which is -10 AN. Okay.
Okay.
Which is a pretty good size line. This shit is $22.99 for a 25-foot roll, I believe, or 20-foot roll, something like that.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Okay. You have to use the 37-degree flared AN fittings, so that's what, you know, he'd have the right flare to.
I think
Or-
he probably has.
Is he around here?
wheels.
Yeah, that's not just, you know, flare, it's the AN flare. But it's not recommended for brake pressure, but everything else. It's rated up to 250 PSI.
Oh, yeah, that's way more than you'll ever have in a cooling
And a
system.
cooling system have what, 50?
15 to 20 max.
So
Okay. The only
honestly, that's what I'd do.
I think the only issue with doing a hard line again is it's going to be really hard to match because it's so kinky and twisted to get, you know, through everything. It's going to be really, really, really hard to match that to make it fit again without getting an OEM one. So
You can do it. You know, and that just comes down to how much money you want to spend. You could do the braided line, but you're going to spend probably, I don't know, instead of like 6 weeks with fittings, 2 things along. Well, he could probably do it with one line, but it's going to be probably $250-$300.
yeah. So 5/8.
But I don't know. That's
There's
what
one on eBay I see for 103 for the whole kit or for the whole setup.
for the coolant lines.
Yeah,
How much is it?
103.50 on eBay
Is that
from 91 to 95.
yeah. Is that
Oh, there it
the
is right there.
stock?
Yeah, $55 shipping.
Yeah,
Let's see here.
it says it's in good condition without rust or damage.
Yeah,
That thing isn't that
Turbo and
kinky.
non-turbo.
I don't think that he's gonna go back to a stock.
Dude, that thing isn't that. You could so make that easily
Yeah.
without
so?
even a complicated bender. Yeah,
How?
that thing is not that
Oh.
bendy.
$70 for 15 feet of 5/8.
You still need. Is that just the line, or is that the fittings too?
No, that's just the line. But AN fittings are cheap.
Good try.
Well, you only need 4 of them. You need the one to go on the end and then the screw-on nipple on each side.
And you have to put them into that line, which is the least amount of fun you can possibly have.
No, I know. Cutting braid isn't that bad.
I don't mind cutting it. I don't like putting fittings in it.
Oh, I guess
I'd rather
if you get it cut
flare.
clean, it's not too bad to put fittings in. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, let's see here. Oh, here's another Reddit question, I guess. The difference between cheap versus expensive horsepower. So he was talking more about like the difference between like a Ferrari engine and like a Ford crate motor, and why there's such an enormous price difference between them. And
Oh my god, there's so many places to start with that.
I would say the main difference is quantity. You know, where Ferrari's selling what, maybe 1,000 of those engines that they developed, and Ford is, you know, selling millions. That's, you know, you can chew up a lot of R&D when you sell a shitload of motors compared to, you know, a handful.
What's that new Coyote motor for RPM? Roughly.
Spin them to?
Yeah.
I want to say maybe with tune, some of the guys are spinning them to over 8.
What's that Ferrari go to, you think? That the Ferrari has to go way higher than.
I would say, I don't know. They've got to be in the 11 and 12,000 range, aren't they?
You know, and what I'm getting at is once you get to spinning them that fast, all your different values have to be spot on. And that's the difference between,
Yep.
you know, a supercar motor and a fast car motor.
Well, yeah, and there's the displacement difference, you know.
Well, that's what, V12 and a lot of those supercars too.
You've got, and that's why they're more of a high pitch sound too. Oh my god, I can't spell. Yeah, that's why, you know, their pistons are smaller. Every where is 8,200 RPM on the Lamborghini Huracan? That doesn't sound right. That's pretty.
That might be right. That thing has like 9 gears in it.
Yeah, 8,500.
Well, if you kick it into the sport mode, it goes up higher on the RPMs.
The Aventador goes to 8,500 RPM. Is where they've got, yeah, so somewhere around there, that 8,500 RPM. But
God, I would have expected higher there. But
I kind of would have too. But I guess when you've got 10 or 12 cylinders whipping around in there too, that's, you know, there's just more there as well. But yeah,
that's a loaded question. That's not comparing apples to apples.
No, it's not at all.
It would be a better comparison per se would be like the LS series motor versus a Coyote, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, their output is similar, isn't it? I guess I haven't really looked at any of the newer stuff, but they're real close.
The only real difference is going to be as far as what years they are. Like, how many years have they had that Coyote motor out? Come on, Mustang guy. 2012. And they've been doing an LS-based series motor since late 99.
Yeah, 98 in the Camaros.
98 in the Camaros.
Well, yeah. Camaro,
and I think
Firebird.
97 in the
Vet.
The ZL1 Vet.
Yeah. So they've been fucking around with those motors for a long time. And even the 5.3s, 4.8s, 6.0s, 6.2s, all that shit in the trucks is all the same base motor.
Yeah.
You know, they changed the water pumps, the cams, blah, blah, blah. So the price on those motors, the motor itself is going to be less money, but then the aftermarket support is going to be less money too, because they've been around so long.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the same with all the interchangeability.
Yeah.
You know, I was damn impressed with those Coyote motors. It wasn't last year, it was the year before down at the strip. You know, all those Mustangs were throwing on slicks, and I'm going,
yep,
let's see what these fuckers do. And they go out there, they're running 6.6. I'm like, oh shit, they're here to play.
Yeah.
You know,
Coyotes are not a joke.
Yeah.
And that's because honestly, you take one of them LS motors, that Copo Camaro barely runs a 6.6 out there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's 1,000 horsepower, and you're like, okay. But
yeah, but
when there's guys at 15 and newer, maybe a little bit.
But
when even you take 15 and newer Mustangs and throw $7,000 turbo kit on them, and there's guys at the stock autos, they're switching out oil pump gears and billet input shafts. and they're running guys over 1,000 horsepower. 900, 1,000 horsepower. It's cheap power. It's easy.
Well, even
the Pro Charger kits put out a shitload for them too.
Yeah,
I know a guy.
Even the that 4-cylinder EcoBoost in the Mustang, like I think it's basically a turbo and injectors and a tune, and you can almost get them into the 9s.
Yep, there's guys right now that are doing it.
Yeah, that's insane.
At elevation.
At elevation, sure.
Yeah.
Listen,
Show me Camaros that run that.
Oh, I have no idea. I know how fast shit goes up here. That's all I know.
yeah.
Because honestly, I stopped giving a crap on what cars run at elevation, because that's cool and all. But until they come up here and play in our world, where you have a fast car up here, you have a fast car.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to go run here because, I'm a second faster, because the air is that much better. My tune can be that much better.
Yeah.
Watching all those Street Outlaw guys in Denver is fucking hilarious. Oh my God. That's amazing. Because they go up there and every one of them guys is bitching.
Just crying.
Fucking elevation, goddamn. Temperature, turbo won't spool, fucking my map's all off for my nitrous. Yeah, it's awesome. I crack up.
How fast are those guys, the Street Outlaw guys, in real life?
In our elevation, Lutz and Blue Cadillac guy.
I don't know.
Larson.
I haven't seen that show in a long time, but
Both those guys went 430s.
Yeah, they were right in the 430s, and a couple years
Sturgis
ago,
Kuipers.
yeah, at Sturgis, and a couple years ago, they were talking about being in like the 390s to 380s at a better elevation, better track.
Yeah, but when you get going that fast, that 380 to 395 is a fuck ton.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
you're talking, those things are anywhere from 3,500 to 5,500 horse.
Yeah.
You're talking half a second off from what they were running here. Yeah, in our world, that's taking 1,000 horsepower car and adding 2 seconds. There's a hell of a lot.
You can honestly you can gain 0.3 of a second going to Pierre from Sturgis.
Yeah.
And Marion's usually a couple tenths quicker than that. So
I will tell you, it's damn near a second and a half.
On what?
My Mustang.
Oh, that's a lot of driver mod there.
Fuck you.
That's traction. That's everything.
I felt it hooked like a motherfucker. It was a great day though.
Yeah.
See, and that's you're dealing with more than just your elevation change. You're dealing with traction, track prep. You could have been Friday night versus the actual race weekend.
That car launched tonight. Fucking felt like somebody rear-ended me. I'm like, who the fuck just launched from behind me?
You're used to people launching from behind you there, big boy.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't realize they were that fast. Like, that's fucking hauling ass.
Oh, and any of them that have you know me, I despise RZR style blowers. I think they're a fucking joke because the maintenance involved in them and how much you get versus how much you're losing. Personally, it's not best bang for the buck.
Right.
Either go Pro Charger or Turbo and call it a day. But those RZR style blower, like Street Outlaw cars, holy fuck, they're loud. They're like NHRA motor loud.
Right.
Which I've went and watched the races down in Las Vegas, and when they launch, they just like shake your insides.
Yep. That's awesome.
What goes through the stands. It just shakes you.
What are those Street Outlaw guys running for fuel? Are they on like a nitromethane, or are they just running like a race gas? No.
They're all, I would assume all of them are nitro.
Okay.
Lutz said that he could run pump gas in his 57. All he has to do is open his wastegates all the way so it makes zero boost. and he can drive that around on pump gas.
Oh my god.
But that is a conventional motor too. His isn't a new school motor from everything that we saw and we learned about it down in Sturgis.
Huh.
You know, that's all the blocks were made at one time. They're not those oh god damn, I can't remember. Everybody seems to be going to the same motor now though in all those cars.
Oh really?
And I guess they put some regulations on weight now too. Because I've seen 2 or 3 posts today about weight of those cars. And I think that's why everybody's kind of building a new car and all that crap.
Huh. Interesting.
Because Doc posted and he said that the car he's building is for the no preps. And his car right now will be like 500 pounds more than weight limit. Like the weight cutoff.
Jesus.
So... But then you're talking that motor is a fucking like 900 some cubic inch with 4 kits of nitrous, 5 kits of nitrous, something like that. And you figure those nitrous kits are usually about $500-600 a piece. So,
good God, just imagine the amount of fuel that's like those. Have you ever seen the simulation of a top fuel dragster?
yeah, they go through like a gallon of fuel.
Yeah, it's just like
3 seconds. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's wild watching that just drain that tank like instantly. But you know, you only need that much gas to get down to the end.
Yeah, they're doing
Seconds worth.
what 318 mile an hour or something.
Yeah, that's wild.
You got JR trying to go 70, but his shit's vibrating apart.
Hey, the wife likes
Yeah, but it drank a drop of gas.
Yeah. Oh, all
There's
right.
one year, me and Jason was going to drag race my minivan against his down at the Sturgis Dragway.
You do that, that'll give me plenty of time to fix whatever I break on mine.
If you see any first gen Odysseys around, let me know.
You have a project, son.
I know.
Unless you want a 93 Mustang, I'll
Listen,
sell you one of those.
Actually, I've worked on a pile of shit this week.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. So I did do some work on the on my diesel 1-ton. That's broken. And then I did a radiator in a 98 Ford Ranger. I did some work to my 58 International. I actually drove that across town this weekend to go pick up a bunch of dead tree that was down that just got cut. Clutch went out on the way back, and one of the front brakes locked up. So I need some work again. But yeah, so I actually did quite a bit of wrenching this week. Then what else did I worked on? Something that was really fucking greasy. What was that? I don't know.
Cammy. It was Cammy.
No. But yeah, I did work on some stuff this week finally.
I didn't slack off, but I had other shit I had to do.
Yeah.
And then I keep getting distracted by the S10. So.
I saw the top cover start. It's looking good.
Yep. Yeah, the aluminum's kind of expensive.
Yeah, aluminum's really expensive. Especially those big flat sheets.
Yeah. Yeah, I started doing... Well, I filled my body seams with that 2-part epoxy.
Oh, okay.
Where I had welded, I ground that down and filled that. And then ground that smooth, and I got a skim coat of filler on it. And found a few little, flaws that I filled up. So I started doing a little bit of body work, but I finished up a lot of the shit that was on that CRV that Millard and I are going to sell.
Nice.
In case you need a manual all-wheel drive CRV.
I would actually love one, but I don't have the money for it, so I'm not gonna.
So once we get a distributor for that, that'll be good to go. And I got to start on that 442. All the parts showed up this weekend, so
Nice.
I got to start on that thing tomorrow.
Right on. All right. Well, JR, you got anything you need to plug social media wise today?
No.
No?
We're
My
like we're out
question
of
was just
buddy.
my minivan where I was having issues with.
Okay. All right. Well, the 3D's, episode 8.